Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Adam, this is my channel Adam Sews, where I talk about all things sewing, quilting, and pretty much any craft that contains fabric that can be put underneath a machine, whether that be shoemaking, slipper making, bag making, quilting, garment sewing, the lot. I thought I'd pop on today because, as some of you know, I recently moved and I thought I would give you an updated sewing room tour of how my space is currently set up. It's not ideal at the moment, but I'm still trying to figure things out and work out how best for me that it works. So I'm going to take you around. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get some decent angles on this so that you can actually see. And yeah, I'll start with the door. So as you walk into the room, there is my industrial sewing machine over here, which is my Juki DDL 7000A7 for anyone that wants to know. It's a direct drive machine, so it's got the motor built into the actual machine. As you can see, it is covered in different stickers. I've got some of the Tudor Pink Raw ones on here. I've got a Tudor Shoops one. This is a Serenity sticker. I've got my Juki magnets, my Specky Seamstress, Sew to Makery from my lovely friend Catherine, a Tudor Sneak Peek swatch pack sticker. And yeah, so this is where I do most of my bag making. It's continuously set up with a Teflon foot. I've got my little Lori Holt magic pin cushion, which are going to be in my store soon. I've got some different spools of glide thread on here at the moment. This is a new thread that I'm trialing, which is called Falk. And it seems to be working exactly the same as glide, and it is mega reasonably priced compared to glide. So on this side of the room is my sort of like Monica Geller cupboard off of Friends, because at the moment there is stuff everywhere and I need to go through it. So over on this wall at the moment is my quilting table, which is sort of flattened down as much as it can be so that I can still actually put it together and use it quite quickly. And there are the legs for it, and behind there is the little carriage that the machine goes into. So I've got my Tudor Pink art prints up here, which are the original line drawings from Everglow. And then I have got the start of my crazy mad Tudor collection. So up here is finished quilt tops and new quilting. I've got my scrap bin up here, which has got fat quarters and anything bigger than sort of 10 inches. I've got my bolt of Vilene G700 woven interfacing up there. And then I have got an old ironing board, which needs to be relocated somewhere else. I've actually got a cupboard downstairs with a hook in it that will hang on. I just need to actually just physically move it. That is something that is a sneak peek. There is my lovely journal up here, which was handmade by Trish from Pinky's Farm in America. My lovely friend Trish made me that, and I love that. I have it on display wherever I am. Up here is just some half bolt, like mini bolts of non-Tula fabric, which I need to file away in amongst the non-Tula here. Behind these actually is more fabric on mini bolts. So this is my Tanner Lawn collection, and in here is a little storage container which has got all my Specky Seamstress bias tape and my mini charm stash. In here is pre-cut Tanner Lawn and Lori Holt for my Tanner Lawn Lori Holt quilt that I'm doing. I've got some beautiful Lori Holt fat quarters. Actually, they're not fat quarters, they're half meters. These were from Oak Apple Quilting. Oak Apple Haberdashery. She's also got a YouTube channel which you can have a look through her store. I'm trying to keep this camera as steady as possible. I do apologise. I've got my 505, my spray starch, jelly rolls, Tilda fat quarter bundle. And as I say, here is where I keep sort of like my non-Tula fabrics. So I've got Art Gallery, I've got some Alison Glass, I've got some Cafe, Timeless Treasures, all of those sorts of things. Then I've got here is pre-cut fat quarters, which have come out of bundles and different things. And then I've got all of my 5-inch charm packs, which I've got one for nearly every single collection that Tula's ever done. I've got my Aurifil storage containers here, which have got my large spools and all of my 1,000 metre, I think they're 1,000 metre spools in there. So on this wall here, I've got all of my stripes, all of my spots, all of my true colours, some out of print Bumble, I think it is, and then more out of prints, and then Daydreamer. Then we've got Limework, Monkey Wrench, Pinkerville, yeah, and that's that side. Then on here I've got some of my Tudor rulers hanging up, and my large ruler. This is my Pinocchio, which came from Florence. It's handmade by a guy. I think this shop is actually called Geppetto's Workshop. It's from Florence. Then I've got, down here, I've got my green machine, which I am going to do a review of at some point. And my raw trainers, which are going to go on my store very soon. And then I've got some of my Tudor ribbons on here. Down here is all dressmaking fabric. That container down there is just full of random junk that needs to be sorted, and so the container can go. And then I've got my LaserJet printer for colour. Here is some fat quarter bundles and pre-cut caddies. I've got an ironing board down there, and then behind there is the rails with the leaders on for my quilting machine. So here we have my window, which lets in loads of natural light. I've got my big fat Buddha there that does a little waving thing. He's solar powered. And then I've got a variety of my art dolls. Moving round to the other side of the room, we'll start with the top of the desk. So I've got my notice board here, which has got all of my current in-use Aurifil on the little shelves here, and then I've got all of my Tula merch, which is all of the exclusive, limited edition, very rare stuff. I've got my Tula hardware and my glue sticks. I've got some spare bobbins here for my new Juki UX8. That is my Juki MO 2500, which is a air-threaded overlocker, and it's got industrial technology. It is absolutely brilliant. If you're after an overlocker and you want an air threader, go for Juki rather than a Baby Lock, because they built Baby Locks before Baby Lock actually built them themselves, so they probably know more. But anywho, on here I've got a spool holder, which has got more ribbons on it and some webbing. And then I've got my Juki UX8. This is my lovely mug rug, which always is in my room. This is from the lovely Izzy from Dizzy Quilts and Sews, which is why it's a Canadian maple leaf, because she lives in Canada. That is my lovely crocheted Luna, which was made by my lovely friend Jenny. I've got my 2 Adam Sews trio of pouches here. This is the medium and the large. There is a smaller one as well included in the pattern. This one here contains all of my essentials. So it has got my rotary cutter, my Soline glue, my Hera marker, Soline pens, everything that I reach for on a regular basis. This little jam jar is full of waxed thread for shoemaking, and it's got extra labels in. Then here I have my label stash, which is all of my labels from Specky Seamstress so far, because I'm part of the Specky Seamstress label collective, and I've got some here as well from the Cozy Club Handmade. These are all my washi tapes. These ones here are Laurie Holt, and then I've got some diagonal seam tape, and then I've got all of my lovely Specky Seamstress ones as well. This is the crochet, and I've also got some of it was on one of those, but you can't see it at the moment. So on my notice board, other than Tula, I have also got my lovely notes from Suzanne Campion and one of her beautiful quilts there, and a little Hello Kitty needle minder that she sent me. I've got a lovely fractured skull pin here, which is from And So who was on Instagram. She won People's Choice at the Festival of Quilts last year. If you don't know her, go and check out her channel. Her quilts are absolutely incredible. And then I've got that little pink heart there is one of the Tula Pink Sew Tights. Here is my stationary ironing pressing board. This is covered in Laurie Holt fabric, but as you can see, it's all stained and nasty. And it's got watermarks and different things on it, so this needs recovering. And I think this time again, I'm going to go back to what it was covered with last time, which was Tula quilt backing, because it lasts so much better because of the polished finish on it. There's my Liso iron. My other one is downstairs because my husband stole it from me the other day to do some quilting downstairs. In the corner, before I move on to the other wall of Tula, these are all rolls of clear vinyl, glitter vinyl, rainbow vinyl, and different bag making vinyls. And then I've got 2 project bags tucked away in there at the moment just to keep them flat. And then, so moving on to the next wall, up the top there is all of my Tula Pink quilt backing that's on bolts. I've got a bolt of Laurie Holt and just some various other bolts. This lovely tulip here is a Free Spirit core line. So then I've got all of my homemade range. I've got Parisville Deja Vu, some mini bolts there with Elizabeth. I've got Tabby Road, some more Daydreamer, and all of the Everglow neons and neutrals as well, mixed in with there some other true colours at the end. This here is all of my stock of Besties. Then I've got Nightshade Deja Vu, Moon Garden, and Tiny Beasts. Here is Tudor Pink Raw. These are different bolts of, I've got some Monkey Wrench, I've got some Line Work, the white on white fairy flakes and the black on black fairy flakes, and different various true colours and different things that I use quite an extensive amount of. This is all got to come out soon and be bolted onto mini bolts, and somehow find a hole somewhere that it will fit into, because Tudor Pink Tabby Row Deja Vu will sit in there with all of the Minkies. Down the bottom here, this is all out of print All Stars, De La Luna, the original Parisville, Prince Charming, different things, and then this is all Curioso and Curioso. So moving on to the lower part of the Kallax unit, this one here, I'll show you, this is full of different webbings, and there's quite an extensive amount in there, but I do go through a lot of webbing. This one here has got a Biani storage pod, which is full of pre-made zips, and then underneath it is all Zipper by the Yard, which weighs a ton. This one here is got some pre-made stock and all my bag hardware. This one is overlocker cones, and there's also some steel boning in there from when I made a corset a long time ago and I bought too much boning. This is my Biani bag, which is the can't remember now. It's the small backpack. I can't remember what the name of it is at the minute. And my featherweight. In here is my Baby Lock cover stitch, which is a BLCS 1. In that box down there is Big 4 patterns, and the reason why they're down there is because I can't get to them, and I don't grab them very often, so they are stuffed in there. In this black bag thing here is a bolt. Well, it's a whole roll of bag making foam, and then I've got another LaserJet printer here, and a box of stuff that needs sorting. In that crate there is full of Mary Ellen's Best Press and various things, all pressing related, a tailor's ham and all of those sorts of things. I've also got 2 clappers somewhere. I've got a funny feeling they're downstairs as well, and might have been borrowed and not returned. So then moving on to the very messy Kallax underneath the desk, and as I was saying, I've told you about what's in there. This here is, that's got crochet stuff in it. This little felt bag here is full of different needles. And I tend to only use Schmetz, so that is full of embroidery needles, jersey needles, stretch needles, universal needles, Microtex needles, everything that you can think of for the overlocker and my UX8. There's also industrial needles in there for my industrial machine. Down here is my 2 caddies. This one here is full of Biani patterns and noodlehead patterns, and that's double stacked in there. That one there has got a mini iron in it. That one is my caddy that I use for my socials when I go to socials. Down here is some Amugurumi crochet yarn, and my Liberty bags from when I've been up to Liberty store in London. That there, the homemade pouch, is full of PDF patterns that need sorting and putting away, but they're the ones that I normally use the most of. This here is just, again, miscellaneous junk that I just need to go through and just haven't had the time. I've got my little waste paper bin, my foot pedal for my Juki. This here is all of my flat pack boxes that I use to ship my caddies. And the 2 bags that are there are full of extension leads from when I do my socials. Yeah. And then moving on to the actual desk itself, this top one is just full of loads of random rubbish that just needs to be sorted through, really. And then in these ones are full of patterns that I'm working on. This is full of zipper hardware, or patterns that need filing away properly. I actually went through all my PDF patterns this week and threw out tons. So these are all the bags. They are plastic bags that you can get on Amazon that you would normally get clothing shipped to you in. So if you buy t-shirts or anything like that from online brands, they normally ship in these. I find these really good for putting PDFs in because they keep everything flat and you can contain your instructions, everything in there. And there is a knee lift in there as well. In here is embroidery hoops with Benina downstairs, which is now my husband's machine. But because he's got less storage than me, I said I would keep them up here to keep them safe. And underneath that is quilt and bag patterns that are all written as quilt patterns, so they're all in there stapled and stacked nice and neatly. And I think, besides showing you all of the fabric that's in there, which is just basic dressmaking fabrics, it's linens, jerseys, all sorts, that is pretty much my sewing room. So as I said earlier, it is a bit of a work in progress. I'm still not 100% happy with how everything is. It's way too untidy for how I like to work. The shelves are all done. I just need to go through all the stuff that's underneath desks and different things and arrange it properly. I also need to do a huge de-stash of dressmaking fabric because there's just so much in there that I've had for such a long time that I'm either one, too scared to cut into, so I might as well get rid of it because it's never going to get cut into or cut into it. But then a lot of them as well is things that I don't think I'd actually wear now, or I need to de-stash it. So I need to reduce my amount of dressmaking fabric because I tend to now buy fabric for certain dressmaking projects when I buy a new pattern. So I am going to try and be more resourceful and use what I want for certain things when it arrives, and stop buying dressmaking fabric just for the sake of buying it, basically, unless it's got an intended use, because otherwise it just sits in my stash. So I am going to leave it there for today. I will probably do another updated sewing room video once I've got everything sorted, how I would actually like it and how it works for me. But thanks for joining me today. I hope you liked having a little snoop around my room. I love watching the sewing room tours from other vloggers because I love to see how people store things and how everyone stores things differently, because it gives you pointers and tips and things that might relate to how you store things in your sewing room. So thanks for watching. I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye for now.